Good morning, and thanks for joining me on another walk. Walking on my own today, and we're just setting out on a walk in Macclesfield Forest. I'm not starting the walk from where I intended to. I was hoping to park down near Ridgegate Reservoir, but there was a road closure, so I've had to come all the way around, and I'm parked up at the top of the walk, but still on the same circuit, and heading off in a clockwise direction around to Teggs Nose, and then drop down to the reservoirs, and then climb up back through Macclesfield Forest and back to the start point. Not sure exactly how far it is. Maybe 9-10 miles, but I'll tell you when we get to the end. Along the way, one of the points I want to stop off at is an interesting earthworks that's marked on the OS map. That's quite mysterious, really. I'll tell you a little bit more about it if we find it, but yeah, nobody seems to know too much about it. But hopefully we'll be finding that shortly. But anyway, -2 degrees Celsius, so a really chilly day. I've got loads of layers on, lovely and crisp and sunny, and probably my first day's proper cold weather walking this year, and yeah, it looks lovely. So be plenty of shots of my shadow in frame, but not much I can do about that. So anyway, why not stick with me and see what we see along the way. It is a lovely peaceful day already, and rather beautiful down here. It is a conifer plantation, but a lot of it's been thinned out nowadays, and they've left the remaining deciduous trees, and hopefully going to encourage more mixed growth in the future. It's already paying dividends. It's yeah, it's kind of opened it out, giving it a bit more of a lighter sort of feel, and yeah, nice day to be here. Not many people about. Just following a way marker for the Forest Chapel, and if you'd started at Ridgegate Reservoir, you'd be probably around about halfway through the walk now, but I'm just starting. So, short section along a minor country track, just for a couple of 100 yards, I think, and then we'll get to the Forest Chapel. So we'll take a look at that, and this earthwork should be kind of up to our left, so I'll see what the possibilities of gaining access to that are. You can just about see the top of Shutlingsloe peeping up across the forest behind me to the right, but hopefully we'll get better views of that later from up on Teggs Nose. As we arrive at the farm at the top of the hill, we want to take a left and head up the Forest Bridleway. But since we're here, let's just go and have a quick look at the little forest chapel. Charming little place. Yeah, lovely, simple little chapel building. Right, onwards. See if we can get access to this earthworks. Well, I'm not entirely sure whether I'm supposed to be here or not. There is a gate and it's not locked, but just a short climb up and you come to this earthworks. It's a ditch around the edge. It's a square. I think it's 60 metres by 60 metres, and nobody knows for sure who built it or why, but it certainly has commanding views out across the countryside and over Shutlingsloe. So certainly wouldn't be a bad place to build a hill fort. See the perimeter there, I've just come across the ditch and the perimeter stretches around there. Shutlingsloe right behind me into the sun. Not sure how much of that you could see. There's one entranceway just up here, but as I say, they excavated it I think in the 1800s. Didn't really find any artifacts whatsoever, so there was no conclusion made as to its origin. And then, as in more modern times, people have looked at it, and because of the excavation that was done back then, it's destroyed any chance they've got of using modern methods like pollen dating and all of that sort of stuff to find out any more about it. So it looks like it's going to remain a mystery. You may look on the internet and see claims that it's a Roman military settlement, but I think what happened with that is that somebody just made a, or proposed a theory that might have been what it was, and then it's just gathered momentum, and then it's just gained some credence as fact. But any proper authorities deny that there's any truth in it whatsoever. Let's just have a walk along this wall, and I'll show you the entranceway. Walls are probably only about 1 metre in height. As we get up to this corner, you can see your way over Teggs Nose, which is where we're heading, and I better get a move on in a minute. instead of hanging around here. So there you have it. One mysterious earthworks of unknown provenance. Onwards. Fair bit of ice along this section today. Watch your footing. A few hundred yards up the bridleway, you'll see a gate to the left and a path leading off into the woodland, so take that path. Right, as you get down to an old ruined farmhouse, you'll see another way marker for Teggs Nose. Keep following that. There's a little plaque on the building saying it was the home of Walter Whiston Bullock, who died at the age of 34 in the Battle of Passchendaele in, I think it was 1916, during the First World War. So there's a little shrine there, and people left little poppies and memorials to him. Nice little touch. I've walked Macclesfield Forest many times, usually when going up to do Shutlingsloe, but never done this circuit before, so it's yeah, very pleasant. I'm enjoying it. As you exit the woodland, you cross over Way Lane, which is just a tiny little lane. Just look to your left, you'll see the path continue over a stile just in front of you. Path comes out into more open countryside now, and we just proceed along, more or less along the contour, with Teggs Nose looming up to our left. When I said more or less along the contour, I meant more or less. There are a couple of streams dropping down that you've got to cross, and obviously you've got to climb up the other side. Quite muddy as well. I'm glad of the frosty frozen ground this morning, keeping it a bit firmer, but yeah, just be aware it's a bit boggy this section. As you come up away from the farm, you'll come to a gate with a cattle grid. Just make sure you look to the left and you'll see a set of steps going over the wall, and that takes you down to another farm. The reason being, you're just coming up to the busy A537, and you don't want to be on it for very long. So if you go down to this farm, you're just on it for just a few yards, and then you cut back onto I think it's Buxton Old Road is the little road that leads back up to Teggs Nose. even though you're only on the A537 for about 20 yards, I would advise crossing over, walking on the far side of the road and then crossing back. Just gives you better visibility, and the road verge is very narrow, too narrow for safety to be honest, but say it's just a very short stretch. Another lovely little old Methodist chapel here. Let's have a quick look. So yeah, short walk up Buxton Old Road. You'll see the entrance to Teggs Nose Country Park, and I'll just put a clip up of the visitor centre there. There's a cafe, there's toilets, there's a pay and display car park there, but the path you want is just opposite the entrance. You'll see it rising up around the bulk of Teggs Nose, so just take that path that's directly in front of you at the entrance. So Teggs Nose is a very popular beauty spot because you can drive up to it. It's really easily accessible. It's got great views down over the Cheshire Plain, but it is a lovely place to visit, and it was actually an old quarrying site for millstone grit. Apparently there were two quarries. It was quarried back as far as the early 1500s up until the mid 1950s, and there were two quarries. One produced a kind of a pink tinged gritstone, and the other one was a blue tinged gritstone apparently, and it's since been turned into a country park by East Cheshire District Council, and I think there's still a few bits of remains of mining equipment and that sort of thing, so we'll have a wander through and I'll see what we can show you. When you get to the top end of the country park, you'll see a gate with a footpath leading down. towards Teggs Nose Reservoir, Bottoms Reservoir and Ridgegate Reservoir, and we're taking that path down. Sorry about the glare on the clip I just shot. It's right into the sun. It's reflecting back up off the reservoir. Trust me though, it's fantastic views up here. Right, downward. Walking past Teggs Nose Reservoir now. Really very pretty. See a few tufted ducks, which you won't even be able to see as dots on the GoPro. And that's back up where we've descended from, back up to Teggs Nose. So if you fancy a slightly more energetic walk, do the walk in a clockwise direction. Quite a climb. So we drop down to the charmingly named Bottoms Reservoir, cross over the dam, and then turn left up the road towards Leather's Smithy pub, which I won't be going in because I'm driving, and then skirt round Ridgegate Reservoir and then head up into the forest again. At Leather's Smithy pub, take a slight right and just go past Ridgegate Reservoir on your right hand side, and this is where we should have parked. So we've left ourselves a bit of uppage for the end where we've parked, but yeah, it would have been a nice flat ending, but hey ho, that's the way it goes. Right, just follow the road round from the reservoir and then take the little road signposted for Winkle, 3.5 miles, just for a short way, and then take a path heading left up into the woods. Ooh. Trust me, this is a long slog back up after a long day's walk, so do yourself a favour, park down near the Leather Smithy, and whether you do it clockwise or anti-clockwise, you'll have a nice downhill stretch to finish the walk with, rather than my slog uphill. Right, out of the trees at the top, just take a turn left. Marker post says Shutlingsloe and Standing Stone, and we're just going to follow this path right round now back to the car park. Whoa, that was some climb. just on the last half mile or so, and I was about right with the distance. It'll be just shy of 10 miles, but what a lovely walk, especially on a cold crisp day. Frost hasn't come off the ground all day. I think it's been hovering around 2 degrees, but yeah, nice and wrapped up, and it was beautiful. Oh, I can see the van, that's a sight for sore eyes. So anyway, thanks very much for joining me, and much appreciated if you stuck it this far. If you wouldn't mind giving it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, maybe you'd consider subscribing to the channel. Really helps. But anyway, I wish you goodbye, and see you on another walk very soon. Take care now, bye. Oh yeah, that's a relief. Great walk. See you soon.